Coming up next, I'll tell you what to do when returning to work after having kids. And then we'll go over 12 resume tips. We'll take your calls and your chats. It all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey's Studios, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. It's all about you. You are created to fill a unique role in your work, through your work. That means you are needed. That means you must do it. And that's why the Ken Coleman Show is here to help you get clear. There are 7 stages that you must go through to achieve significance in your work, meaningful work, working like no one else. They are: get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get your dream job, and give yourself away. What stage are you in? We're here to help you identify that, help you figure out what you need to do to enter the next stage, walk alongside of you as you move through the stages. So let's do it, shall we? 844-747-2577 is the number. That's 844-747-2577. Returning to work after having kids. I saw this headline from Business News Daily, and we get this question a lot on the show from ladies who are saying, hey, Ken, I left the workforce to go home and raise my kids, be with the kids, and now I'm ready to step back in. And I'm worried about the gap in my work history, the gaps on my resume. We get this question all the time. So when I saw this, I said, oh, this is good. And we dug in a little deeper, Joe, and we found that there's an actual study. This isn't just an opinion article from Business News Daily. So they're citing the University of Pennsylvania Law Review and the study that was just recently published. And basically what they found that was women who are re-entering the workforce after taking time off for family reasons are more likely to find jobs if they are open about their reasons for being out of work. Now, the conventional wisdom, which is what's driving the concern behind the callers of our female listeners who are saying, Ken, I want to get back into the workforce. I've been home for a while. It's the conventional wisdom that's driving that. And the conventional wisdom has been that employers, well, that they're going to be worried about you not being in the workforce for a period of time. That your home life, your personal lives, that those discussions are going to hurt you. And it's not true. Direct quote from Jennifer Bennett Chenal, one of the study's authors. Employers overwhelmingly preferred to hire candidates who provided information to explain a resume gap, regardless of content. So for just a moment, this is not just good news for women who are re-entering the workforce after going home for a while. This is good for men and women if you've had some employment gaps. People want to know the information behind the gap, as opposed to not knowing any information that could flush out a woman or a person's job history and qualifications, improved employment prospects. The study also found that women who gave personal information raised their chances of being hired by as much as 40 percentage points. That's significant. It boils down to, says Chenal, that any explanation for your exit or re-entering the workforce is better than no explanation. So the numbers bear it out. The number of people who preferred that a woman explained her resume gap was staggering. So what do you do with this information? Number one, be confident. Employers are not bothered by a woman's gap in her history, her work history, especially when you tell them, hey, I left to go be a mom. Now I'm ready to come back. That's not going to hurt you. So be confident is my first thought. The second thing is, now that you get your confidence where you need to be, let's brush up on some skills that maybe you need. Some technology skills. Get up to date on basic office technology and what companies are using. And then reach out with that confidence, with those updated office skills or just basic things that you would need to employ in the workplace. Really get out there and hustle with those web of connections. Just get seriously intentional because you got the confidence. And share your story. It's not going to hurt you. This is really good news for women who decided to go home and want to come back. And this is great news for some of you who aren't ready to do that yet, but you're going, I'm in the middle of this deal. I got 3 more years. This is great news. So what can you do in the 3 years that would keep you relevant as far as skills, now knowing that you can step right back in and employers aren't going to discount you because you decided to be a mom for a while? 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Before we jump to the phones, we've got a brand new free resource that I want many of you who have considered calling in the show to know about and to engage with. It's called the Career Clarity Guide, and it's going to walk you through in worksheet form how to really identify your sweet spot, which is the intersection of your talent, your passion, and your mission. Talent's what you do best. Passion is what you love to do most. Mission, results that matter most. That's the methodology here on the show. And this worksheet will really get you to a place where some of you will be more clear and thus more confident to call into the show. Go get it right now. It's on our resources page at kencoleman.com. All right, we go to Mason City, Iowa. Dalton joins us there. Dalton, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, how are you?
I am living the dream, Dalton. What's going on?
Well, I'm in a bit of a situation. Throughout the years, I've always taken jobs that were quote unquote man's jobs that I thought I should take. And it's left me really unfulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I work for a company that I've been with. It'll be 3 years as of June 26th. And it's a cement plant, and it's a union environment, and the management and hourly employees have a constant negative attitude. The work that we're expected to do is very unsafe. The schedule is unstable. For a couple years that I was out there, my work week was 1 first shift, 2 second shifts, and 2 third shifts. And it's always demanded more of me, time and energy-wise, than what I wanted to take away from my family. I've considered and talked with my wife quite a few times about leaving. However, the guilt always comes up to where it's a very good paying job. Currently, without a college education or anything, I'm making $28 an hour. And so leaving, I would feel like I was taking away from my family and their future.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you feel that way if you replaced that $28 an hour? You wouldn't feel bad at all. As long as you're stepping into something else that replaces that income, you wouldn't feel bad, correct?
Correct.
Well, then let's take on that mindset. I totally understand what you're feeling, but that's not how you actually think. I understand it's how you feel, but you're not going to just jump into nothing. I don't think you're going to do that. You should feel guilty if you do that and put your family in tough financial situation without being able to jump into something different. But let's come up with a plan, you and I right now. Let's come up with a direction. And let's come up with a plan to get going on that path. And then let's steel our minds. That's what you'll need to do for whatever the near-term future will be, that you'll have to stay there until you replace that income. But that's our mindset. There's nothing to feel guilty about. Let's stop thinking that way because you're not going to act that way. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right. Now, what would you love to do? Give me some ideas. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you've listened to the show long enough to trust me, to call me today. So let's just, you and me, let's forget about fears and doubts and pride, and let's just talk Dalton. Now, what would you love to do, Dalton? Or what do you think you might like to do? Give me something.
Well, I'm currently involved in AA and recovery groups, and I have a real passion for helping men that struggle mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and relationally. Over the years, I've gained a lot of life experience, I feel, and through that, I feel like I'd be able to offer hope and encouragement and support and life skills to teaching men not only to be good but great as far as husbands, fathers, and just men of service, according to God's word.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's a good one. Now, the question is, have you thought about the marketplace matches for that? So what are the ways you can do that would be a profession, not a hobby or a ministry? Because that could certainly be a ministry, okay,
Yes.
where you do that, 10 hours a week or whatever, 30 hours a month, whatever you decide to do, okay? But are we looking at that as a professional passion or personal, more of ministry, volunteering, that kind of thing? What do you know about the marketplace?
I would love to turn it into a professional passion. It wouldn't even be like work to me at that point.
Great. So have you identified how you could do that?
My initial thoughts are getting started, getting in front of men through my church, and hopefully building off of that onto a type of speaking career and also a counseling type career.
Okay, great. So now let's look at that. Now the speaking side of things, you can start doing that now, anywhere and everywhere in your area. Okay, and that's going to take time to build that up to where that turns into real money. Okay, but the reality is that the counseling side, that's an actual marketplace where you can get paid to counsel. So the question is, what qualifications do you need? And so stage 1 is get clear. Stage 2 is get qualified. So in stage 2, what will you have to do? What learning, what knowledge will you need to acquire plus experience, okay, to actually be a qualified counselor where you can charge people, okay? And the second thing is, how much is that going to cost you? And then based on your financial reality, how long will that take? And so that is the way for you to begin to see a path forward. Are you still tracking with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you could just do it tomorrow, would you be a licensed counselor, or would you just do it more from a ministry standpoint and not be licensed but still try to charge folks? Do you see what I'm saying? Have you figured that out?
Yeah. I've always looked at it as more of a ministry standpoint.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sure the counseling side would probably provide the better income if I had the credentials.
Well, no question, but that's also going to cost you money too, right?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm you, I'm looking at, okay, what is it that I really want to do? If I want to build a speaking career and a ministry where I'm doing some one-on-one counseling, maybe putting a team together, but I'm more of a parachurch ministry and I'm getting this thing going and we're doing events and all these kind of things, that's a long-term play. So now all of a sudden we go, all right, we're not looking to replace $28 an hour right now. That's not realistic. Okay. But that's okay. Don't be discouraged by that, Dalton. But I'm trying to help you get clear. You and I both know you can't just walk away from this concrete plant and replace $28 an hour with this parachurch ministry or this speaking, all that. You're not going to be able to do that. It's not realistic. However, we could replace the $28 an hour job, in some other plant or some other industry or some other type of work that you've done. You've been successful in keeping jobs, and you've moved around a bit. But the reality is that you've got to keep that income coming in, and that we start classifying what you're doing now or something that you might do in a better environment as a day job. And the day job takes care of you, your wife, your kids, all your basic needs, and it's going to help you fund your future while you're doing this other thing on the side. So the reality is that you're going to have to do one of two things. Either you change your attitude because your perspective is now different at the concrete plant, where you go, I'm making $28 an hour. That's good money. I'm grateful for this. Yeah, it's a toxic environment. Sometimes it's unsafe. I can try to deal with the unsafe stuff, and let's address that. And I can remove myself from the toxicity long enough. If it takes me 3 to 5 years to get this other plan up and running, I can do that. Now, that's one option. The other option is you go, you know what? I've worked in enough places to know what toxic is and what it isn't. I know how to figure it out beforehand. I've got a lot of skills and experience that I can bring to play, and I'm going to look to replace the concrete plant $28 an hour job with something else that's comparable or gives me opportunity to do more. All right? It's those two options. And so you either stay or you go, but the idea is that's the day job, and you start speaking at your church, you start trying to speak at other churches in the region, you start getting connected with other nonprofits that maybe are like mind, like mission, and you learn things, you start developing more and more content, you get all that going, and then you consider whether or not you want to do the licensing down the road and go to school for that and go part-time. So you've got some options. But if you have a lot of clarity, and I think you do, you know exactly who you want to help and why. Now you got to figure out all the ways that you can do that. That's the how. And the day job is what's going to keep you solid so that you can keep getting more and more and more and more momentum. And you'll get there. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, Dalton. You got a very powerful mission. Go, go, go. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Hannah, who is on the line here in Nashville. Hannah, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on?
Okay, so I'm 25, married, and just finished school this past spring. We're debt-free, and
Yay.
I'm currently looking for a good job in the field that I studied and just kind of having a weird time trying to find work during this COVID-19 thing. So I'm
Sure.
just wondering what my next step should be after putting in several applications.
Okay, great. What field?
So I studied interior design, and I've worked in the field for 4 years, interior design and remodeling.
Okay, great. So the ideal gig would be what?
The ideal gig would be, well, see, I have an end goal, which
That's what I want
would
to know. I want to know the big. So don't sell yourself short right now, because I do want to know the big, big, big goal.
Okay. So my big overall goal is to run my own business and possibly have a storefront showroom where I could provide services and even some decor and some options at that store. So that would be like the end goal.
Love it.
For now, I just moved to this area, and I would really like to get experience with the culture and the people of this particular area before completely starting my own business.
Yeah.
Just to, just to pay homage to the people who actually live here and say that I can actually work for the people here and knowing what they want type of thing.
And so the short-term gig would be interior design, a role doing anything in that area. Is that right?
Yeah. So mostly primarily would be working for, I guess more with builders and contractors trying to remodel homes.
Oh, okay. I got it. So that is different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you applied for? Give me a couple samples of some positions and companies you've applied to.
Sure. So I've put in a couple of applications at a couple different showrooms that are basically kind of doing what I would like to do in the end. And so like they sell tile and cabinets and countertops, things like that, but they also provide like design services. They'll send out the designers to the site to measure and help the clients figure out a new configuration for their space.
Right.
So that's the type of job I've been trying to solidify right now.
How long have you been living in the area?
So it's been about 2 months.
Okay, so you're brand new, so you don't have a ton of personal relationships right now.
Correct. I'm getting involved with my big church here and my friends that I have out here already, but yeah, it's still pretty new.
Okay. Well, the construction the construction economy in Middle Tennessee is still pretty strong by all indications. And you have applied for open positions, correct? They're published open positions?
Correct. And I've even looked on other sites where it says, they accept people, but they don't necessarily have an opening right now. I've been just looking for anything.
Okay, great. Well, so here's the challenge. All right. You're brand new. And I teach the proximity principle. I don't know how long you've been listening to the program, but you know that I believe that you can actually make connections having only been in a place for 2 months. And good on you. You've already, with your church and other things, that becomes almost your full-time job right now. Now, the reality is if you guys are tight financially, which I don't think you are because you're a young married couple and you're debt-free. So I would make your full-time job connections in the industry. And I'm fine with you continuing to apply, but I'd rather you apply the Ken Coleman way, which is really work hard to make some connections where people go, oh, you've got some great experience. You got a great degree. You've got some talent. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Okay. So I think that's what you're trying to do. And I'm actually going to give you a personal connection. I'm going to do something I rarely do, Hannah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I've got a friend. She used to work here at Ramsey Solutions. Her name is Tanya. Okay. And she owns a place called Onyx and Alabaster in downtown Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville. Do you know where that is?
I've actually heard of that place.
Yeah. Well, she's killing it. Okay. And so Tanya and I are friends. Used to work together here. I actually saw her Saturday morning, Hannah, at the coffee shop in my neighborhood.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's awesome.
She's killing it. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go in her shop, and I want you to tell her that you called into my show and that I told you to go see her. And she's also got another gal working for her named Mallory, who used to work on our team here. And Mallory's amazing. And I want you to connect with Tanya, and you say, Ken Coleman told me to come see you. I'm 2 months into this city. I don't know a ton of people. Here's what I want to do. He said you're awesome, and I've heard of you, and you're doing what I want to do. So Tanya's actually the real life person that's doing what you want to do one day. She has a showroom. You understand what I'm saying? She has a live showroom, and she's doing what you want to do one day. I want you to go see her, and now here's what I want you to do, and you tell her all these things, because you're using my name, and that's going to be a good thing for you. Okay. Now listen. Okay. I want you to offer to volunteer to work for her for free for a couple weeks and shadow her if she's willing. I want you to do that. Okay. Now I don't know if she's going to do that, and I'm not going to call her, and I'm not going to warn her because she's awesome. Okay. And I just want to see you get connected with her, okay? And I want you to just say, hey, who can you introduce me to? Ken said that I should work for free for you for 2 weeks, and I'm debt-free, and I'm just married, and I can do that. Because you can, correct, Hannah?
Correct.
Yeah. So I want you to...
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm happy to. But listen, part of the deal is you work for free for her for a while, and then you ask her who you should be getting to know in Franklin and Nashville, because she knows. And you say to her, Ken said that the reason I need to come see you is not for you to give me a job, because I'm not saying that to her, okay? But I am saying she is the producer in the book, The Proximity Principle. Have you read it?
I haven't read it yet, but my husband talks about it all the time.
So he has the book.
I don't know. All right, read it.
Listen. Hang on the line right now. Madison, let's get Hannah a copy. Now, Hannah, here's the deal, okay? Madison's going to get you a copy. I want you to read the chapter on producers before you do anything else, okay?
Okay.
And then I want you to understand that Tanya is the producer. She is the embodiment of what I write about in the book. And so you go ask her if you can work for her for free, and then would she be willing to make a list of people that you need to connect with, and in cases where she knows them, would she make the introduction? Mm-hmm. Now, this is how it works. I can't do this for everybody, okay? But in this particular situation, your zip code and the proximity of being in Franklin, then that's what you need to do, okay? But she is an absolute rock star, and she's who you want to be. So go do that, and then here's what I want you to do. Read the rest of the book and do exactly what I tell you to do in the book. And here's the deal. You'll make the connections. But I want you to apply and reapply and apply the right way, the Ken Coleman way. Okay? And so I want you to get the Get Hired guides that are all free. Madison can tell you what to do. They're on my website, kencoleman.com. Now listen, I want you to email the show, ask@kencoleman.com, after you started working for free for Tanya. Do you understand? Okay. I'm giving you some accountability. Okay?
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Good deal. Thank you, Hannah. Oh, that's what it's all about. You guys, Joe, were you here when Tanya was here? I don't think you know her. Nathan, no. Do you? Nathan, he can't hear me. You don't remember her? Okay, great. Do you remember her?
No idea who that is.
She's awesome.
I know Mallory.
Yeah, well, Mallory Darcy's amazing.
Yeah.
Mallory's working for Tanya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they're fantastic at what they do. This is fun. You realize what's going to happen. Hannah's so excited. She's going to go show up, and Tanya's going to be like, oh my gosh, Ken told you. And it's absolutely right. I did see her at a coffee shop Saturday morning, and we caught up. So that's how it works. Now, disclaimer, everybody that calls me on the show, I can't do that. That one just happened to work out that way. But it was kind of fun. So there you go. The old, hey, Ken Coleman told me to stop in and told me that I need to tell you that I'll work for free. I like that. That's kind of fun. Let's go to the chat room. Right now, you can shoot your questions in via chat. They need to be specific so that we can give you a specific answer. And if you can't be specific enough in the chat, you need to call me, because I'm sitting right here waiting right now, 844-747-2577. All right, Lonnie writes in, hey, Ken, if you're interested in another job at your existing company, when should you inform your manager? Pretty quickly. I would not tell the other manager or the hiring manager of the other position that you're interested until you've talked to your manager. However, what I would do is that position has already obviously been published. And so I would do my homework on that, and I would make sure that you feel you're a good fit. And you can do that without telling anybody. You can read the description. You can have lunch, coffee with the leader or the people that work in that position on the team and learn more about what they're doing, and you're coming across as a very interested coworker. You can do your homework and make sure that you are, in fact, a really good fit and that you want to do that. I just really think you should do that before. I wouldn't just willy-nilly walk in and tell your leader, hey, another position over here, I'm interested in that. And when you tell your leader, you just need to say, listen, here's why I'm interested. This is how we led the show today. You know, people want to know what you're thinking. And so be respectful and humble and say, look, I'm interested in this position because this, and this. And the outline you should use is what we teach in the get clear stage, how to really figure it out. So, hey, this job that's over here allows me to use what I do best, boom, 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 to do what I really love. I love this type of work over here. This is what I really, really love. Or this is what I eventually want to do long term, and blah, 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 blah. Explain it. And then it creates this result. So just make sure that they see that you've thought this thing through, that you're humbly saying, look, out of respect, I'm intrigued by the position, but I want to make sure that you know that I'm intrigued by it. What's the company policy? What's kind of the non-policy culture way we do that around here if somebody moves from position to position? And that's how we do it at Ramsey Solutions. And so transparency is always the way to go. Kat writes in, Ken, I'm scared. I've had 6 interviews and I'm just not getting a job offer. I'm trying to get back into teaching, but I don't have anyone outside of my recruiter who can help me, and I don't know what I should do. Well, if you don't have the Proximity Principle book, please get it. It's super cheap right now at kencoleman.com. You can buy a used one. You can go to the library. I don't care. I just want you to get it because it's a deep dive, but it's super simple for you to read and process what is true versus what is false. And I'm going to tell you what's false in your question. I don't have anyone outside of my recruiter who can help me. That's just simply not true, Kat. It's not true. You know way more people than you think you do. Listen, it's not even about the people you know. It rarely is. Kat, it's about the people that the people you know. Now that's a mouthful, right? It's not about the people you know. It's they know a bunch of people. And will they make introductions and recommendations for you? The people you know, to people that they know that are directly connected to teaching opportunities. I'm telling you, the connections are all around you. But you have got to have the courage to realize, I'm scared, I'm doubtful, I'm insecure, I've got some fog of lies in front of me, one of them being, I don't know anybody but my recruiter. That's just nonsense. And so you got to have the courage to realize, I'm not being reasonable here. I've got a fog in front of me. I got to clear the fog. And the reason I talk about fear, doubt, and pride is because fear everybody gets, doubt everybody gets. But when I say pride, in this situation, Kat, I'd be willing to venture that your pride is holding you back as well. Too concerned about what others may say or think about you to ask for help. So ask for help. 844-747-2577. Okay, going to teach real quick because we've actually got a brand new article at kencoleman.com entitled 12 Resume Tips, How to Create a One-Page Wonder. Now, those of you who are familiar with my resume guide and the template in it know that I preach a one-page resume. The reason is because people are spending 7.4 seconds, 7.4 seconds, Joe, actually reviewing a resume. So if you can say it in 2 pages, you can also say it in 1. I promise. It's called editing. It's called simplifying. So anyway, we wrote this article. Let me go through the guts of it. Number 1, keep it to 1 page. I just touched on that. Number 2, make sure your contact info is professional. Double check all of the information that you're giving. Is it a silly looking email address like sk8rboi2007@hotmail.com? It just seems weird and sketchy. Make sure all of your contact info is correct and professional. Number 3, skip the bio and the photo. I don't think anybody cares about what your photo looks like, and nobody wants to see a short story of your life. 4, keep the job listing in mind, meaning there's a reason why these people put out job descriptions. Make sure that you really, really know it and you break it down. Number 5, tell the truth. Oh my gosh, this is the worst mistake people make. They juice their resume. Joe, you remember the former Georgia Tech football coach, George O'Leary?
Yes.
You remember it. It was a big story in Atlanta. It was a big story around the country. Now, Madison is a Georgia fan, so she was very excited when this happened. But George O'Leary was the Georgia Tech football coach, and he signs a contract with Notre Dame. Huge deal. I mean, his dream job. And he said that he had gotten a college degree. I believe it was, wasn't it, Joe? He said, I have a bachelor's degree, and they did basic research on it, and they found out that he lied about it. Now, they didn't care that he didn't have his degree, but somewhere in his coaching career, he felt like, I'm going to be disqualified if I don't tell people that I got my degree. So he's had it on his resume like that forever. And then they did a little basic research, and that one little white lie that actually didn't matter, George O'Leary lost the chance of his dream job. And it ruined his reputation for, a good while. So please tell the truth. It just don't fudge any details, please. Number 6, make it easy to read. Concise. Simple. Drop the 50-cent words. Number 7, use active words like produced, executed, engineered, developed, coordinated when you're describing what you've done. Number 8, tell them why you're a good fit. Remember, they care about one thing. They don't care about your bio. They care about, do you present as an applicant who they think can help them win? Number 9, give very concrete examples. If you're going to throw out some results, which I believe in, on the resume, please be concrete. Real data, real numbers. And then number 10, proofread. Number 11, put your education last. Some people really freak out over this, but I'm telling you, we've proven that our resume guide really does work, and education is the least important thing, trust me. Put it on there, but it's last. And number 12, don't be afraid to use a template, because Ken Coleman and the Ken Coleman Show team put out a world-class template. Now, that article, I just rolled through the major headings. It's a great article, easy to read. Go get it, kencoleman.com/articles. It's right there on the webpage. 844-747-2577. Let's go back to the phones. Sanya joins us next in Portland, Oregon. Sanya, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, so I'm going to be graduating next year, and I'm trying to decide my college. I was thinking of just getting certified as a medical assistant and going to a community college, but everyone else is telling me just to go straight into Linfield and get my nursing degree, because I have all of the prereqs to go into it. But I kind of don't really want to do that, but everyone's telling me I should.
Oh, good. Well, I love this. I love that I don't want to do it, but everybody's telling me I should. I want to dive into that a little bit more. So why do you want to go the route of getting certified and then doing community college versus going to a 4-year school and go ahead and getting the nursing degree? Why? Why your path?
It's going to take me 7 months to get it, because all I have to do is go to the clinics and, learn the actual job. And then once I start, my salary is going to be about $30K.
Hey.
So I'm going to be having a good job.
Yeah.
And then after that, I hope that the people I work with will help me go back into school and help me pay for it instead of me going into debt or
love it.
Not being able to go back to school.
I love it. I love your plan. You know why? Because it's actually a plan. You are not just acting irresponsibly going, I don't want to go to college. I just want to live my life and have fun. That's not what you're saying. You are saying, look, in 7 months, I can get hired making good dough and really learn the industry, get great experience, and you are actually going to go to community college while doing this, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible. So you're getting college credit. You're actually going to college. And then I love your play that they're going to see a really bright young lady who's got her head on straight and a great plan and great experience and a lot of talent and potential. And you're hoping they go, look, we will pay for your nursing school. I love it. I love your plan because if it doesn't work out, you're not behind the 8 ball. A, you're making more money than all of your friends who went straight to nursing school. B, you are getting college credit, so you're not falling behind. And C, you're betting on yourself. I love it.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that all you wanted to hear?
Yeah, I just really wasn't sure about it because all my counselors at school are no, you need to go to a big college. And then my parents haven't gone to college and my older brother didn't go, so I can't really get much information from them or help.
Yeah, but listen. I appreciate your counselors at school, but they're kind of the old school way of looking at it, that the only way to success, that the rite of passage of success is college. I don't believe that. Not for everybody. But again, you're not choosing to not go to college. You're just saying, I'm going to go this way. And here's the deal. Let's say that 2 years from now, you finish your basics at community college and your current employer won't pay for you to go to nursing school. If you have no debt and you won't, and you've been working for 2 years, making $30,000 a year, you can pay your way through nursing school, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So here's my point. You just respectfully say, I've got a plan, and this is the right plan for me, and you trust in the plan. But I'm telling you, good on you, kiddo. This is a great plan. I fully endorse the plan, and I hope you stick to it, okay?
Okay.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Sanya. Go, go, go. How about that? How about that? And real quick qualifier, because I know what Joe's thinking. And Joe's really good for me in this way. I want to say again, I'm not saying that this gal's counselors at high school are wrong. I'm saying that I slightly disagree with their advice. And they're saying, no, you need to go to a big nursing school. You need to do this. It's the best way. And I think that when she proves them wrong, because I think she's going to, they would say, okay, you proved us wrong. Because if she does this, she's going to have her credits through the community college. So she's ready to go basics. She's done her basics. And so now she goes full-time nursing. And if an employer pays her way through it, this gal's been making real good money and she's not going to pay for college. Her plan's better, folks. Am I the only one that sees this? All right. So, again, I'm not anti-college. I just need proof that college is the best way for you. Now, do I think college is a great experience for kids? It's a great experience. But not at the price of you enjoying 4 years of socializing and then spending the next 6 to 10 years of your life agonizing. That's good right there. Somebody better write that down. Every once in a while, I say something, I need to pause and go, that's good. And that one's good right there. Because socializing is wonderful, but agonizing is miserable. And it's just, especially if it's not needed. So there it is. There's my qualifier. All right, Joe, I got to get out of here. My time's almost up, but you matter. You do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.